Everybody better for the better podcast, and we're going to have a catch up because we've got Warhammer Quest Darkwater dropping this weekend on pre-orders, and it is something very special from Games Workshop. So I thought we'd have a bit of a roundup, talk about what they've shown off, and talk about what we've got coming up. Okay, so over to the Warhammer community, and the first thing we're going to have a look at is I've been waiting for this one. Get inspired by these awesome Warhammer Quest Darkwater heroes painted by the wider Warhammer community. And you will see some really wonderful paint jobs of the various heroes. And these are very lovely models, including this one painted by Milton of our team, which is very cool to see. This is a personal point of pride for the crew, for the guys. It's very cool to see his work done on there. So this is, yeah, Milton did a beautiful job with this. Craig and Ian also did a beautiful job with theirs, but they didn't, I guess, too many submissions on the Warhammer community. But man, let me tell you, this model is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to how good this box set is. So there's a designer's commentary that I thought we'd talk through because I think it covers some of the really cool and exciting parts of the game. Then we'll have a look at a couple of the rules articles that kind of show off the intent behind the game and how it's actually going to work. Now, I'm really intrigued and really excited about this game. The way they've put it together is pretty good. I would say premier. I would say elite, actually. I'm really impressed. So, Warhammer Quest Darkwater is available to pre-order on Saturday this week. We've covered all the rules for you already, which we'll talk about in a second. But who better to tell us about some of the decisions behind them than someone from the Warhammer Design Studio? John was part of the team that worked on the Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress and Cursed City and has played every other edition exhaustively. So John, Warhammer Quest Darkwater is the latest rendition of one of the most beloved games in Warhammer's storied history. While more modern incarnations, Silver Tower, Hammerhall, Blackstone Fortress and Cursed City all used more or less the same system with a few updates and modifications between editions, Darkwater takes a whole new approach, with a view to making the game more streamlined and accessible to new players while still challenging and replayable enough to appeal to veterans. And that is something that I think is super important with the way that they've attacked this. You've got great models and it looks really unique to the point of like, this is cool, this is self-contained, this is very playable, and having different kind of angles of sail here is really, really, really cool. So, tiles to book. Probably the biggest and most obvious visual change to Warhammer Quest is that it uses a big, hardback, lay-flat map book that contains a series of maps to show the battlefield rather than a set of tiles. This promotes swift setups, narratively themed maps, contained play areas, and even tunable different difficulties and other fun mechanics. So the way these maps, they've got loads of little icons on them, so it will give the design studio the space to be like, right, use map 17 and put this model on these, or these are your starting spaces. So even though they're limited by the maps in the book, when it comes to building accessories or expansions, it gives a lot of playability, a lot of replayability, and man, opening that book, putting it down, having your map ready to go, and all you have to do then is put your guys on there and put the villains on there. That's pretty swish. I like that. Swift to set up. I think that's what we've just talked about. Turning to a page is the majority of the setup time in Darkwater. This means that once you decide what path to take in the Jade Abbey, more on that later, you are up and running within a few minutes. This keeps the pace of your play sessions incredibly quick and exciting, with minimal reasons for players to get distracted and start doom scrolling on their phones while you build the board. Yeah, you know what? That's probably more fair than any of us would want to have. Themed maps. The overall story and narrative is one of the big draws of Warhammer Quest. In this edition, we wanted to be able to show off vastly different sections of a diverse environment, which the tiles of previous games have limited our ability to do. So making a book of separate rooms and creating a series of completely unique areas allowed us to explore pox, wretch, shanty towns, nasty swamps, pustule-laden mire kelpie spawning chambers, areas with corrupted ley lines, rivulets of aqua giranus, and besides. With no repeats. Since each of these maps is unique, each of the encounters that uses that map will look, feel, and play completely different to other encounters on other maps. Glorious. And they've got some really cool shots here. So you've got like fetid swamp with gribbly bits. You've got what looks like an indoor arboretum. Is it an indoor orchard? And oh, that's quite cool. I have no idea what that is. That must just I don't know. That looks almost 40k-ish, doesn't it? I guess Age of Sigmar can do that. Contained play areas. It's probably true for most of us that the gaming space is at something of a premium. Warhammer Quest Darkwater respects this by ensuring that a full game can comfortably fit a smaller table, allowing you to play comfortably and not have the book or your cards precariously hanging off the ledge. We've all played those games, and I don't even just mean like TI, Twilight Imperium or anything, where you've got, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, and it's kind of like you are struggling to fit it all on the play area. So I guess with the playbook being the most of the space, it keeps it pretty together, which I really like. The book also lies completely flat, and you can even roll dice on it. Watch out for your miniatures. It's also nice and quick to pack up too, so when it's time to break for food, you'll be able to scoop everything up nice and quickly and set it back down if you want to. Really like that. Tunable game difficulty and other fun stuff. So you'll discover more of this as you play, but having separate maps means it's easier to keep track of initiative order and battle rounds, as these are all laid out on each map. There are even color-coded numbers on enemy turns for specific events to kick off. I really like that. So it's kind of all done that. Then from activation dice to core abilities, we wanted to make it easier for the new players to join in the games of Warhammer Quest. And to ensure that no one would be left out of the action for too long, enter core abilities and a new hero character card. So this is quite cool. So you can give you actions, you can kind of tap cards to give you energy points. So the new core abilities are the fundamental set of things a hero can do in their turn while being the resource the abilities require at the same time. Most of your turns will be using these abilities. You'll be mostly moving around and hitting enemies really hard. The order you use these in is important, of course, and there's plenty of nuance and key decisions and gambles therein, but critically, the rules for how they work and the instructions you follow are on the card itself to get you playing really quickly. So where you've got these activities, you've got the cost, so you need 1 energy to do these things. To get the energy, you expend a different card. So you can kind of go, right, I want to move, so I'll tap aid and I can get an energy and I can move, and then I want to move again, so I'll tap attack and I'll move. You can kind of sequence it like that from how I'm reading it. The removal of activation dice as a health pool also allowed us to decouple those mechanics and ensure that being wounded doesn't make your character less effective, as this could often lead to an inescapable death spiral or being soft locked. As long as your hero isn't at death's door, you'll still be capable of running around, clobbering enemies, and grabbing loot. Dynamic decisions. We wanted every turn in Darkwater to provide immediate and engaging decisions for players when the core ability is provided in that space. As an example of this, straight away, most heroes need to move, and the choice between taking cheaper random movement over fixed movement is a critical one. By moving randomly, aka trudging through the sludge and hoping you don't die, you'll probably have a very efficient turn and a very exciting one if things go well. If you don't fancy that risk, you can simply sprint, meaning you go a little slower than the average equivalent expender in random movement. So 2d6 on average gets you 7 hexes, while sprint moves you 6. But you have a guaranteed result, meaning that when the chips are down, you can do what needs to be done. Fighting isn't the only objective in Darkwater. Sometimes you'll need to finish an encounter in a specific place or perform other stuff to do the mission. Sprinting takes it out of anyone, of course, which means your action economy is affected and you'll be doing less. So you have to decide what price you're willing to pay, and sometimes you just need to get lucky. Okay, so this is the move card. Let's have a proper look at this, because this is quite interesting. I think it's quite clever that they've gone to the depths of going, right, Games Workshop, we've got models, no worries. We'll do a cool thing with the board to keep the space economical, and then we'll make cards do the stuff. So move, sprint. This hero moves a number of hexes up to their movement characteristic. Sprint, spend an extra energy, and this hero moves 6 hexes instead. So tap aid, move, tap attack, tap move to give you 2 energy, then you can sprint, potentially. I don't actually know, but that feels right. We've done that, and then same big story but quicker. One item to address on the agenda was how long it took to play through a full quest. We wanted to make sure that players could enjoy a full playthrough of Warhammer Quest without needing to commit months or more to play through it. We've all got busy lives. Not only that, but we wanted to give the hardcore questers out there a reason to keep coming back for more month in, month out. We opted for a swift, repeatable game structure with a metric ton of variety from playthrough to playthrough. This allows you to enjoy an entire playthrough of Warhammer Quest in a few evenings, or perhaps a marathon weekend. To achieve this, we've broken the story of Gelgus Pust's inevitable defeat into 3 acts. Each act is a self-contained story with its own events, encounters, and boss fights. This I love. And this, I think, is one of the first things that made me think of Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, where you kind of like complete a mission, go to the next one. You've got cards that kind of shake it up. And I think this is just really clever where they've got this replayable thing, essentially almost random encounters with some choices, and then you have to play through it. And you kind of, it's a really well put together thing, I think. Encounters a straight up fight with Nurgle's minions, while events are the in between bits: dice games, bets, trapped treasure chests, shrines to the gods, and so on. Encounters are much more risky but provide more rewards, and events, while safer, don't pay out as much and are resolved in a few minutes or less. That means if the end of the gaming evening is swiftly approaching, you can pick events over encounters to get to the end of the act more quickly, but you might not be best equipped to face the boss if you do so. Man, that's classic, isn't it? Like, you want to be grinding so that you can get more XP instead of skipping bits. And you get to the gym and your monsters aren't leveled up enough. Finally, there are also safe havens that the hero can rest at, sacrificing loot and scavengers' rights in favour of a nice breather, and the chance to swap loot around before carrying on. A well-timed rest can be the difference between success and failure, but in the Jade Abbey, those are few and far between. And we go again. As you play through the game, you'll unlock rewards and new heroes for future playthroughs. Set items, alternative rules for heroes, and even a secret encounter await, giving you tons of fun across multiple tries. Not only that, but since you'll only see a fraction of the available cards for each act and boss on each run, you'll be discovering new abilities, events, and encounters as you play, leading to an endlessly replayable game you can enjoy time and time again. And that is properly how this comes across. It just feels like a game they've gone, here, buy this game. It's not going to be cheap. It's Games Workshop. I feel like I've seen a sneak preview of what the price is going to be. I saw it on a YouTube thumbnail. Not going to be cheap, but it looks like this is a game you can actually just play for a long time. I did a video of this on the main channel a while ago, like the games you get the most replayability out, and this is looking pretty high. So this is Drasher Vaughn, one of the heroes. He's got a backstory on his card, and then he's got his action card here. So this is his health tracker. You've got move, so whenever he takes a move action, he gets D6. If you spend 2 energy, you just get straight 6. Defense is 4+. His combat is 1 square hex. He rolls 2 dice and he hits on a 3+. And his power, Fury of the Wildlands, for each 1 damage inflicted on this hero, and each time an enemy is slain in their turn, this hero gains a Fury token to a maximum of 10. Fury tokens are kept between encounters. Okay, so he just stays angry. Rage-filled transformation. With an earth shaking roar, he removed 10 Fury tokens. This hero can use 4 move and or attack abilities in any order, even if they are vulnerable at cost of 0 energy. That's really cool. So over the course of different missions, right, he gets injured or he murders stuff, and he just gets more and more angry. And at some point, he pops and rampage rages with 4 attacks or moves. So it just absolutely solos it across the board. That's really cool. Really, really, really cool. The quicker playthrough also means that losses don't feel so punishing. Anyone familiar with the "try that one again, shall we" question from a fellow adventurer, a nasty defeat? Well, if you are, Darkwater has 2 ways to resolve the occasional but dismal defeat. If you're playing a campaign, you can just bin off some rewards and try again. The game even provides some healing to make sure your second try isn't as doomed as the first. If you're playing a skirmish, well, you can just try again, can't you? What's a skirmish, you ask? One and done. The skirmish. I really like this as well. So if you want to simply play a quick game of Warhammer Quest on a cold winter's evening, or in the summer, you just draw an encounter card at random from any act, give players a set of random rewards to get them out for, and have a bash at beating them. This is the match play variant. This is the one and done. Go to a page, play it out, jobs are good, and no worry about it. I like that. Probably really good for a training mission, but this is Warhammer Quest. Come on, you want to be playing the campaign, absolutely. Sweet loot. No article about Warhammer Quest will be complete without referencing the loot and treasure and swag you can swipe from defeated foes. In Darkwater, these are referred to as rewards, and boy howdy are they important. I love whoever wrote this. Everyone likes treasure, and heroes are no different. In Warhammer Quest Darkwater, rewards are dished out after every encounter and some events. Encounters, being generally more risky, that's the combat missions, provide more choice, but each player is generally limited to gaining just 1 reward at a time. This is done deliberately to ensure a gradual scaling of complexity throughout the run, like that, meaning new players can keep up with new abilities. Learning rules 1 new card at a time is nice and relaxed. A cap of 4 rewards means there's never too much to remember. As for the rewards themselves, well, there are hundreds of unique rewards. Each has different rarity. Let anyone know at the glance the rough power levels of the rewards, and they are common, epic, nice. There are some duplicates like the common but ever useful Sip of Aqua Guaranus, or a black powder grenade, all the way up to crooked dice, a fine way to finish off an enemy in a flash, or pass a vital roll. As you play, you'll discover some pretty gnarly combos and even unlock set items for your heroes, a grouping of rewards that if you combine all three on the correct hero provide a powerful additional effect. Cool! Form Voltron, like that. Between those and the variety of heroes on offer, no two playthroughs of Darkwater will ever be the same, as you combine different rewards with different heroes and encounters into a rich tapestry of experience. There's much more I could cover here, including enemy action, queue design, which is very cool, special actions that give enemies more stuff to do. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff here. A big article, really juicy stuff. We're going to flick through, have a quick look at a couple of bits here, because you've got the knight guy, you've got the dwarf, you've got the fighter, which we've just seen Milton's painted version of, and you've got the damsel there, along with Bearman, Centaur Man, and Wizard Man, are the different heroes that you can unlock as you go through. But you kind of got like the starter 4, and then you unlock the others for replays, which in itself is brilliant. I don't know if you can swap heroes halfway through. Like if you unlock Bear Pig, can you immediately have him on there as well? But I think this is looking really, really, really cool. So rather than go through everything, because I know that you can read, and I know that you'll be seeing the rules in full soon. I'm super excited about this. It's so cool to see Games Workshop build a big, juicy, proper board game. Gorgeous minis. They always do great minis. But if you're painting stuff, if you're buying stuff, it's really good to have a reason to do it, a reason to have value. And if you've got a gaming group, if you've got a Blood Bowl league, if you've got a family that likes board games, friends that like board games, this is a really cool opportunity to go through something together. And when Cursed City dropped, we were excited. We did a podcast, and then Cursed City kind of went away because it was cursed. This looks like something that if you buy it now, you can play. If you buy it in 3 years, you just play it and it's self-contained. And I don't know if I'm just getting to that point in my life where I want the maximum value out of things, but that seems really cool. So when it comes to the channel, obviously the game is going on pre-order soon. So I want you to let us know if you want us to do playthroughs of it in the future, whether you want to see us do a full campaign, whether you want to see us do live streams of it, because I've always had this dream of having videos on my channels that are not just Blood Bowl gameplay. And this is going to be the first one for me. I'm very excited, and I hope it lands well, and I hope you all watch it, and I hope you all go, oh, I want more. Can we do more? Because I would love to do like a week-by-week playthrough of the whole series. I think that would be so cool. But then I'd equally just love to do a few live streams where we get together and hang out and play the game. I don't mind. I just love the opportunity to play games. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll be back soon with more wargaming content. Happy gaming.